So let's add the enemies to actually drink an Estus flask. Now I'm just going to do the humanoid enemy because, well, it makes a little bit more sense rather than the Slayer. And of course the logic will pretty much be the same for everyone, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Let's bring this back down here though. Okay, so let's go on this guy. We have our animator. We're just going to do the full drink motion. Of course, no drinking and redrinking, whatever. That's not really anything special. Let's see, attack. Let's find the essentials. Here we are. Potion drink, drink full. So drink full, of course, it will transition him back to this. Let's say drink. Okay. Now we should do a few more logic. Well, a lot more logic, where he will actually hide the weapon, have him, have a bottle, drink, and then in the end just run the extra logic, which is of course add more health to him. So let's see first when he is going to decide to actually add the logic, to actually drink. Now let's go on our action snapshots. And we will have, well, we need to know if it's below some health or if he's below one type of variable, one specific type of variable, then we might give him a higher score. Okay, so I think we could say, let's do public void, public bool is health based. And let's say that we want to actually get the score instead of use it. So this one will return score. Let's go over here where we will say if max score plus A get score, get score is 0, temp.get score. Okay. So in here we will need to check how much health we have. So that means we should be passing the AI controller in this case. So that means we need to fix this too as well. Let's pass this. Well, either the AI controller or the stats of his, but from the AI controller we could access all of that. Either way. So we can say if is health based, if AI dot health or dot stats dot health is less than public integer health threshold, then we can have an alternate score where we'll return the alternate score. Okay, so this will now make him play the drink animation whenever his health is below a threshold we set here. So in that case, let's go on our snapshots, and we do need to know if we want to actually include the distances, the distance and the angle and all that for this guy, because we don't really need to be in close range to drink, but we should keep the distance. Okay, let's just focus with this then. Let's just try and get some behavior out of it, and then we'll tailor it. So let's go on to this. Let's duplicate the first attack, and we will say just do the drink, or we can call it heal. Then normal score will be almost 0, I'd say, or 0 entirely. Then that will be 25. It will be health based. Our health starts from 100, and let's say if it's below 50, then you will have 25% more chances of healing. Okay, so recover time 1. Okay, minimal distance, let's say that you need to be at least higher than 2 meters away, or maybe even more, but okay, let's say maybe 4. And minimum angle, yeah, we can just keep this like you have to be actually watching the other enemy to drink, so you do not turn your back against him. And damage, of course, we don't have any damage. The rest we will find it later. So we just want him to play the drink animation. I'm getting a lot of phrases, that's why I repeat some phrases sometimes. So yeah, we're just going to have him attack. Well, we actually want him to damage. We want to damage him. So when he is below 50%, 50 health, like this, let's just go back, and he should, and he does, of course. But since we're not really adding any health to him, he's just going to keep playing the same animation and the same animation. So we need to add the event where we do have the event that triggers the consume flag on the animator hook. Let's go on this. Let's go drink full. Pause and drink. Let's say we have on full. Let's see the name of the event. Consume flag. So on drink full, let's go and add the event here for the consume flag. Set consume flag. Okay. Then on the AI controller in late update, let's see, do we have late update? We do. If animator hook consume flag set that to false, and then we need to save some extra logic. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say we can use invoke in this case. So let's just say public void invoke method from action, and we're going to have a string with target method. Then over here we're just going to use invoke target method, which means inside our action snapshot we can have a public bool store invoke action, or not string. We need to have the additional or stored method or callback method or event method. How should we call this? We just need the method name. Let's just call it logic, or additional logic, I guess. Public bool store additional. It's not really a callback because you don't need to have a reference back. You just need to assign an additional logic, so whatever. So we just say stored logic. Then let's see, inside late update, this just need to be 0. Can call it right away. Inside late update, we can save the logic string stored method. Then stored method over here. Then we're just going to make this null. If string is null or empty, for target method, do nothing. Okay, so that means I can basically say void add health, and let us do stats.health plus 50. Just a random number. Of course, this can be a public variable. We can add this entirely inside the action snapshot as well. Okay, but for right now and for what we need it, just going to test this out. It doesn't matter. So all that's left is basically just have the method that saves the stored method. When we do a detect target snapshot, we can say that we play the snapshot here, and that's actually true. We play it here. So that means if current snapshot dot store logic, well, actually we don't need any of this, to be honest, because we could just say directly inside late update, if current snapshot is not null, so we don't need the stored method. If current snapshot dot store logic, delete this needs to be set to false either way. So current snapshot additional logic. Now, because we are going to be adding health to this guy, and we have on damage, we have let's see, we do use somewhere the get plant first close damage collider. Where is it? Yeah, we do use the enemy UE here, so we're going to enable it. Let's create this get component enemy UE and transfer this transfer. Okay, so we're going to make this into its own method where we'll say void handle enemy UE. So we can actually add that inside at health. We could probably just take this and paste it in here. Just say return. Okay, delete that. Okay, so now we'll also get the UE when we add health to this guy. And I think we can add one more thing to this, but I forgot right now. This will add your health. Yeah, and we can basically just add more things that can happen when we execute the logic. So the simplest way to do this, it's actually very simple. we will add Unity events, because why not? So we will say public Unity event on execute. Actually, damn it. Yeah, so here's what we can do. We can just ignore we could entirely ignore the invoke method we have and the store logic, and we can say on execute, and we could also use on end. No, let's just use on execute. So ignore the invoke. We could use the invoke, but it doesn't really matter. But we could say add health float amount and just add this amount. Then we can say current snapshot dot on execute dot invoke, and just say this to integer. So we will set this up from the inspector. And the thing with this is that we can always add the consume flag, and we can add more logic executed based on its action. And yeah, okay, this will happen. Perfect. So another thing that we can do is we could store events on our AI controller. Oh, well, we'll see. We'll make this a little bit later. Let's try this out. So on the human enemy, we now have the on execute. So on execute, I'm just going to drag and drop the AI controller, and I'm going to add the add health. Add health, and let's just say we're going to add like 60 health. Let's start him with like 30 health. So we're just going to start healing right away. And as you can see, he basically drank the health and he gained health. Perfect. So that's really what we want, but we also want him to get rid of the hand, the sword, and create and add the new, how you call that, and yeah, and basically show his bottle. However, that can be done on a framework rather than just hard coding it on the AI controller. So that will actually be a cool tool for us to have. So I'm going to use that as a tool. Yeah. So that means let's finish this part here, and then on the next one we're going to come back and create a framework that will allow us to stack events like this on the animations themselves. So that's it for this part. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, then of course consider supporting me on Patreon so we can keep making all of these nice things we're making. I'll see you next time.